when we come back. This is the story I thought we'd be leading with, but then everything else happened yesterday. The Dallas Mavericks. How do we punish them? That is the question when Run It Back returns.
Run it back, run it up, run it back, run it up, run it back, run it up, then run it back, run it up, then run it back.
Oh, welcome back. Just laughing at nothing, really, quite frankly. So the Dallas Mavericks that was the big thing, right? I was in New York over the weekend. People were angry, Shams. I even had tried to text you to get information on what was going to happen because they were so blatant about sitting everybody, and then they benched Luka very, very early. There were still things for them to be playing for, quite frankly. And then the fact is that they want to keep their top 10 protected pick. Knicks fans, livid. Chandler? What do you think about the fact that the Mavs didn't even bother trying to play for the play-in?
Yeah, I get it business-wise, right? Like you said, they're trying to keep their pick. They were tied with Chicago. That pick would have come over from the Porzingis deal, so I get it that way. Objective number one is to sign Kyrie Irving this summer, maintain your pick, and kind of go forward with a fresh start with a full training camp and a full season. The opposite, though, as a fan, you don't understand. You think we still have a chance to get in the playoffs. We have Luka, we have Kyrie. These guys can play, and it's basically kind of a loser mentality to not even try, right? So I get the frustration from them, and I get the frustration. I get the idea of Mark being like, this is a tall task. We're going to go into the play-in. We have to win a game. We have to win 2 games just to face Denver or Memphis in the first round. It was a tall task, so I agree with it business-wise, but I understand that this is gonna piss off a lot of people when they think they have a chance and they think they have enough talent that they can go in there and they can win the play-in tournament. So I see both sides, but it's definitely frustrating.
J. Kidd wasn't really, he basically was like, not my call. Not my call.
When you make that trade at the deadline and you say, we're bringing in Kyrie Irving, one of the most talented players of all time. We're talking about a guy, 30 years old, who's in the prime of his career. That's supposed to be a win-now trade. That's supposed to be we're trying to compete this year trade. And we all know about their struggles. We all know what their record was. Obviously, they missed the playoffs. And look, at the end of the day, the Thunder won their final 2 games. So, it was all moot. It was all for naught.
Right.
Because they were going to miss out either way. But for them to say, we're shutting Kyrie down very blatantly, the fact that the NBA stepped forward and said, look, we got to investigate this. This is getting crazy. It's absurd. And Luka plays a quarter and what are we doing at this point? But look, they did what they needed to do. They're trying to protect the pick that they may have, and it's top 10 protected, I believe, and they need that pick. They gave up a pick and 2 second rounds going forward for Kyrie.
Disaster.
They're in a crazy hole right now, and they're gonna have a big summer coming up. And I know the rumor, and then the debunked rumor straight from Luka that he's not looking to leave. I don't care. I don't care what he says. I don't care what the rumor is. If that team is not good next year, it's nothing for Luka to say, I'm out of here.
Yeah.
Send me anywhere.
And no one would be mad at it. I don't think anyone would be mad at it. Shams, they have really dug themselves a bit of a hole here. As far as the offseason, what's the main focus?
Well, the main priority is re-signing Kyrie Irving to a deal. They need his salary spot. There's really no other way for them to improve. Even if they did not, let's say they did not want to re-sign Kyrie Irving, there's really no way for them to make this team better. So bring him back on a deal if they can reach an agreement. Then you try to go into the trade marketplace. They have 2 first-round picks they can trade this summer. You have some salaries you can use. And then on the other, they're going to have a top 10 potential pick. You hope that you get some lottery luck and move up. And I know that's what the Mavericks, Nico Harrison, Mark Cuban, Jason Kidd, they're all praying that they get higher up and, compete with your Spurs to get Victor Wembanyama, potentially. But they're going to have a couple assets here to play with. The question is, though, are they going to make this team good enough this summer to be championship caliber? Do they have the pieces? If they go get I think when you look at this team, you prioritize going and getting like a 4, 4-3 that can defend, play at a high level on both ends of the floor. We'll see if they can get it done.
Yeah, they got to re-sign Kyrie Irving, and then they do have to add they have to add the Jared Vanderbilts, the Jay Crowders. They need toughness. They need defensive wings. They need rugged guys. They don't have anybody like that on this roster that can kind of fill that void. So I agree the first order of business is to sign him. If you don't, and you had a 3-month lease on Kyrie Irving that it didn't work out, it could go down as one of the worst trades ever. So they have to re-sign him, and then they have to go in next season, this free agency, with 2 top 10 players going into their prime and kind of build around that. But they have to.
Why? Why do you have to resign Kyrie?
Well,
I
because you already
understand that
gave
it's a
up so
disaster.
much. You already gave up so much.
I
You gave
know,
up 2
but-
starters. You gave up picks. It would all be for nothing if they didn't.
But what if it ends up being all for nothing because you feel like you have to make this move, and this move is ultimately what makes this team weak and Luka leave? Like, what is the trade-off here?
I think Luka is more likely to leave if they don't re-sign him. I think Luka needs help. He needs talent. He needs a guy like Kyrie Irving. He needs Jalen Brunson to relieve
Oh
pressure.
my God, that would have been so nice.
That
would have been great.
It's when you look at it on paper, you see, and they've had some highs with these two playing together. I think a full offseason, a full summer, full training camp, they go into next season more positive than obviously how this season ended. We never thought we'd be here talking about the Mavs. We were talking about the Lakers like this, and then they just switched.
Well, once they did the Kyrie thing, I think there was a big group of humans that thought, nope.
Expectations, though. I mean, once you get Kyrie Irving, you're expected with
think
Luka
that.
Doncic.
A lot of former players didn't think that either.
You're smarter than all of us. That's fine.
That goes without saying, but I'm talking specifically about this Kyrie situation. No, I remember thinking, like, this could be great, but I also think this could be absolutely disastrous. And here we are. It's a complete.
I think Mark
disaster.
Cuban said it in his media thing. I think they underestimated how much losing a guy like Dorian Finney-Smith and just the defenders that you need on a team. If you're catering around 2-star players in Luka Doncic, Kyrie Irving that clearly are offensively focused, you need to surround them the right way. And I think they were missing that depth and the defensive nuances that I think you need from if you're going to build around those two guys.
I mean, we said it when they made the trade. They traded their best defender for a minus defender. Love Kyrie and everything he does, and he actually played incredible for them. He was 27 points a game. He shot 51%.
50, 40, 90.
Just not
39% from 3 and like 94% free throw. He was incredible. He was the best version of Kyrie you can ask for. But he cannot guard the best perimeter players in the league. He just is not that guy. You trade away your best defender, you're going to hurt. You're giving up 130 points to the Miami Heat, the lowest scoring team in the league in a game you absolutely have to win. Like, this is what you bought into by trading away your best defender for somebody who's a minus defender. And look, you got a ton of great things from Kyrie, but you were never going to get defense. And now, like Sham says, you have to think about that this summer. You have to look at the Jared Vanderbilts of the world, the Jaden McDaniels of the world. We need like 3 of those guys.
Yeah.
And they need to defend everybody for these guys, and they need to hit threes. And I don't know that they can put that together this summer.
Right.
But they need to aim towards putting that together because these are two legendary talents between the two guys they have at the top of the food chain. And you have to surround them with exactly what they need, and we'll see.
Look, Chandler, I know everyone's going to say the right things, right, especially right now, but truth serum to Cuban. How concerned is he really about losing Luka at some point here?
Well, he still has time. And again, that's why this summer is so valuable because you have to prove to him that we are for real and we are going to give you the pieces and the assets to contend for a championship because when this contract's up, he's going to have the option to leave. And I don't think it's crossed his mind yet. I think he's a very passionate kid. He plays hard. He wants to win. But as much as he wants that, he wants help. And a guy like Kyrie Irving, how he's played great this year, again, now it's building with these two guys going forward, getting those other pieces, getting actual reliable bigs, getting wing defending guys that are tough, that can relieve pressure, that allow these guys to go do what they do on the offensive end. And so I think, again, another season like this, then I'd start worrying. Right now, you still have time.
I don't think
He's going to be going to the second year of a 5-year Supermax contract. I think they were just in the Western Conference Finals last year. Getting Kyrie Irving, I think, satisfied that secondary star. Now the onus is really on Mark Cuban and Nico Harrison. How are you going to surround those two
He's
guys?
making $50 million living in uptown Dallas. He's
Chandler,
he's
tell us
fine.
about that.
Is that good?
Tell us about that.
It's a good deal?
Listen, it's not a bad gig. They have time.
No state tax. Yeah, it's not that bad. But he could also be a Knick. That'd be kind of fun.
He could be a Miami Heat.
He could
50
be-
million
These are fun
works
cities.
well in Miami as well.
It
That's
also
fair.
works there. Taking a quick break. When we come back, the most disrespectful moments that a man could possibly endure when that man has a family. Run it back. Returns.
Run it up, run it back, yeah. Run it up, run it back, run it up, run it back, run it up, run it back, run it.